In 1965's A Charlie Brown Christmas, prematurely balding young Charlie Brown proclaims his Christmas a disaster. He pleads for someone to tell him the real meaning of Christmas. Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? His friend, Linus Van Pelt, chimes in, "Sure, Charlie Brown, I can tell you what Christmas is all about." He takes center stage, "Lights, please." And somehow no longer needing the comfort of the blanket he's always carrying around, in a move that initially scared TV execs of the time, he recites verses from the Gospel of Luke we just read, telling of the shepherds in the fields and the good news given to them by the angels. He concludes, "And that's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown." As a priest, that's an amazing answer. But Christmas is about a lot of things. Culturally, Christmas is Christmas carols and Christmas songs. It's Charlie Brown, Christmas specials of your favorite sitcoms, Rudolph, the Grinch, Frosty, and Scrooge. Or a young ad exec who leaves the big city to take care of her ailing father in small-town Vermont, where her high school flame, who now owns the local cafe, teaches her the real meaning of Christmas with the help of one of his wise old regulars who looks an awful lot like Santa. You know, every Hallmark movie. Socially, Christmas is stocking stuffing, gift giving, gift getting, family get-togethers, travel inconveniences, and maybe some church going. Biblically, the coming of the Messiah meant the fulfillment of what the prophets had foretold: endless peace, justice, and righteousness. It meant forgiveness. It meant redemption and light for people in darkness. Theologically, Christmas speaks to the incarnation, a miraculous virgin birth, and the existence, the reality of angels. Christmas has always had many sides to it, many meanings. I'm sure the arrival of Jesus meant something important to Joseph, who was now a father, unconventional or not. Christmas definitely meant something to the shepherds who saw the very glory of the Lord. All were amazed, the gospel says. But Mary avoids assigning particular meaning to the night's events. Mary, we're told, treasured all these words and pondered them in her heart. The Greek word we translate ponder comes from words meaning to throw together. John Noland, then lecturer at New Testament Studies at Trinity College, Bristol, England, translates the line this way: Mary stored up all these things, trying in her heart to penetrate their significance. Mary makes room in her heart for the many possible meanings of the Christmas event. She throws them together and contemplates. No one person's perspective wins out. Mary treasures what she hears, and she takes it to heart. I invite you to do the same thing this Christmas, to treasure what you hear, take it to heart, and seek out the real meanings of Christmas. When we insist on a monolithic view of the holiday, one holy day with one holy meaning, we cheat ourselves of the Christ present in all of Christmas, of the many, many ways in which God shows up, arrives in our lives in Advent and Christmas and beyond. If we see Christmas only through the lens of pop culture, granted, we miss the great theological importance of God taking on flesh and living among us. But if we don't see God in pop culture, then we miss the important theological lessons of, say, Frosty, that goodness does return someday. We miss the lessons of Scrooge, that human kindness is our business. We miss the lessons of the Grinch, that the joy of Christmas comes for all us whos, despite our best efforts. Despite the best efforts to seemingly purge the secular of the sacred shines through if we but see it. If we see Christmas as an exchange of gifts, what happens when there are no gifts to exchange? Another lesson from the Grinch. And what happens for people who don't have people? What about Christmas for people who've lost family and friends, who spend the holiday largely alone? Christmas has a social dimension for us, which is why Christmas charity concentrates on food for family and gifts for friends. But it doesn't only have a social dimension. The joy of Christmas comes especially for the lost and lonely. Christmas comes anyway. If we see Christmas only biblically, it becomes history, a memorial. It ignores the ways in which the Christ child arrives in unexpected times and places in our own lives, in the laughter of children, in the second chances of forgiveness, in futures and possibilities as yet unimagined. If we see Christmas only theologically, it abstracts the reality of Christmas. The incarnation at Christmas is not some hollow doctrine repeated mindlessly, but a hard recognition of the ways in which our God became just like us and lived among us in the dirt and sweat and blood of this life, before carrying us all to light and life and peace. We hope to see Christmas culturally, socially, biblically, theologically, but not only in these ways. We're tempted to say that Christmas is all about giving or that Christmas is all about Jesus. Practice this phrase. Not only. Christmas is not about gifts. It's not only about gifts. Hear the difference? Christmas is not about family. Well, it's not only about family. Christmas is not about the birth in Bethlehem. It's not only about the birth in Bethlehem. Christmas has surplus meaning, more than we could ever express. I had trouble earlier this Advent finding the Christmas spirit, getting into the right frame of mind when it came to Advent and Christmas. And I realized that part of my problem was thinking that there was a real spirit of Christmas to catch. There was a real meaning to be had. Real meanings were all around me. Our faith rests not only on a tenuous relationship with the one true meaning of the holiday, but in celebration of all the real meanings around us. When we insist on a monolithic view of the holiday, one holy day with one holy meaning, we cheat ourselves of the Christ present in all of our Christmases. And when we insist on a monolithic view of the holiday, one holy day with one holy meaning, we cheat others of the Christ present in all of Christmas. We all experience Christmas in different ways. When we insist on knowing what Christmas is all about, we risk something meaningful in someone else's view, or worse, crushing it. Yes, the reason for the season. Of course. Keep Christ in Christmas. But did you ever notice the Christ people want to keep in Christmas? Keeping the Christ in Christmas usually means the baby Jesus. Not the social revolutionary, not the great teacher and ethicist, and certainly not the suffering Jesus who died a humiliating death on the cross for the salvation of the world. We need to keep all those Christs in Christmas in acts of service and justice for all God's people. So share all of these Christs. Share all of these Christmases. Share your Christmas with others. Let me share a quick Christmas memory. I remember going down into the garage when I was younger to see a mountain bike from Santa Claus. It wasn't the bike that excited me. It wasn't a brand I recognized or even a color I cared about. It's what the bike meant that excited. Freedom. I could go anywhere as long as I could pedal there and back before dinner. My world got bigger with that gift. So long as I came before the streetlights came on, I was free. It's not every day a gift you get sets you free. So share your Christmas. Don't insist on it being celebrated a certain way. Just share the ways that you find joy and watch that invitation set someone else free. When we insist on a monolithic view of the holiday, one holy day with one holy meaning, we cheat others of the Christ of the Christmases when we could be inviting them to God. Among many things, Christmas celebrates the arrival of God, and not only in Bethlehem, but in our daily lives, the ways in which God shows up for us. Don't cheat yourself and don't cheat others of the ways that God can show up by insisting on one true meaning. Treasure all these things, all that is this Christmas, and ponder them in your heart. There's no one real meaning to Christmas any more than there's only one true message from the Bible. There are many real meanings, plural. Joy and hope and justice and righteousness and forgiveness and peace and love. These and many other things. They're what Christmas is all about. Charlie Brown. Amen.
Amen.